be live momentarily. I think we're there now. So here we go. I am gonna stop the share here. Marc Williams, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. I am doing great to the sounds of Miles Davis. That just got me pumped up, smoothed out, and ready to go. It's good to see you, my good friend David Rush.
It is good to see you as well. I'm going to play the beautiful intro video that you may or may not have seen just yet, and then we will get underway with our conversation. I pull it up. We are live now on Facebook. Here's a little video. All right. How'd you like that? Not bad, right?
Oh man, you worked your magic.
I try to roll out the red carpet.
I gotta try to live up to that, man.
I know.
Wow. Let's bring this energy, Mr. Rush.
Absolutely. Well, Marc, good to have you here. I'm going to do a quick teaser for everybody. If you are tuning in, first time, Unleash the Rush, Coach's Corner. I love to get dynamic people onto the show, just have a conversation, talk about things that are relevant to our lives, that uplift us, that we could learn from. And I know Marc, I'm bringing him on the stage because he and I go way back through Toastmasters. Initially we met, I saw him on stage and his progression as a speaker and just taking people and audiences to a whole new level inside of his communication there. And since then we probably disconnected, reconnected, and now we just have a lot of different kinds of overlap. He's doing amazing things out there in the world. And now I'll stop saying he and I'll say Marc. Great to have you here tonight. How are you this evening?
I am great. I am so great, David, and so pumped up and ready for this conversation. It's been a great week. It's been a great month. And, it's hard to say that it's been a great year. It's been a crazy and unexpected year. But one of the greatest things about this year is that it has brought me closer to people like you and people and within our circle, and it's just expanding. And it's presented an opportunity to really reflect and think about how we can evolve from what is going on and take life to this next level. So I'm ready to go, man. What a rush.
Love it. I love it. I mean, it's just like, it's electric too. I remember the first time you, me, and Victoria, we got together, we had a conversation, and that was within a few weeks of me reaching out to you. And I hate to say, yes, like what you said is, it is a challenging time, but it's also been, there's a lot of opportunity out there for a lot of people, even though there's some unfortunate circumstances. Clearly, there's some things that are opening up for people that may not have if we were still going through our normal day-to-day, right?
Absolutely. It's funny. I even think about how I've been able to capitalize on this. And by capitalize, not talking about money, but capitalize, talking about impact and outreach. For the longest time, I was traveling around from borough to borough to borough at the last hour of the day to go meet somebody for an hour and a half to talk to them and pump them up and get them thinking about all the amazing things that they could do. But it was tiring, and I could only see so many people jumping on the 4 train or the 6 train or the D train or whatever it was. But now, because we've been locked in, we have found a way to open up. And I've actually been able to have more conversations and more coaching conversations with more people and touch more lives. So, yeah, it's been exhilarating, man. It's been really exhilarating.
It's so interesting, right? Who would have thought that you'd be more connected after being isolated in some regards? But now we've got Zoom and everybody's actually looked for ways. And now that we can create remote connections, whether it's a mastermind, whether it's a networking group, whether it's just leveraging more media outlets to connect with people, I've seen the same thing. I'm more connected now than I've been connected in the past. My networking is a lot more robust, and it's an interesting dynamic that's just shown up.
Listen, I got to tell you, first of all, on a professional level, yes, it has opened up opportunities. On a connection, networking level, it has opened up opportunities. I am touched to say also on a personal level how it has opened up things. You know, these times have been tough, and through these tough times, my family has actually been able to connect even more. Once a month, I get together with members of my family. You know, family reunions used to be these kind of things where, like, every 5 or 10 years you talk about doing it, and then every 20 years you'd remember that you talked about doing it, but you didn't do it. And now, like, once a month, I'm meeting family that I've never seen in ages. So on a personal level and a professional level, it's been great. And I don't know how many people have really been able to, and again, it's so hard to say benefit, but I'm going to say it because that's the kind of uplifting kind of conversations we like to have. I hope that everyone has or is in the process of being able to take advantage of this way of expanding life and making more connections with people.
That's beautiful. And I love adding to that. And that's so true. Like, so many people have now had the opportunity to potentially connect with family members or on a regular basis where it wouldn't have been. And I know a lot of folks, myself included, I had a family Zoom, or it's a new accountability group, which I never would have had before because now it's on a Zoom platform and it's all just sprung up. So even though there's challenges, I feel like there's been a lot of silver linings.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I just met a new friend who lives out in Singapore. I never would have met somebody. Well, I shouldn't say never. We never say never, right, David?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how it would have happened under regular circumstances. So, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm just happy for the opportunity to take advantage of what's going on.
I love it.
You know?
Well, I'd love to dig a little deeper at some point. It's funny you mentioned Singapore. My new branding, which is currently being rebranded, the Unleash the Rush. I met somebody through an online platform named Ryan, who's now a good friend and also my partner in rebranding. And that's all outsourced, good connection. Never would have happened if this thing didn't come out the way it did. But with regards to that, I'd love to hear, you know, I know you're up to a lot of things. There's a book that's out there. You're recreating yourself in many ways. You're doing a lot of different things. What's maybe top couple of things that are really prominent for you right now that will be worth digging into a little further?
I tell you, there's 4 things that really come to mind. Look at that. We that's how ambitious we are, right? So one of the things that comes to mind.
Didn't you tell me focus on the one thing?
I did tell you that. I did tell you that. I did tell you that. Right? Well,
I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I'll start off with this one thing. Yes, I am absolutely proud and thrilled that after months of working on, actually, let's be honest, it was kind of years working on this book, The Rules of Engagement for Public Speaking. It has finally been released, and it was quite the process. You know, I've been working on the rules of engagement as a training tool for years now. It started in a classroom with about 7 kids. It then became this multi-level program. And then I finally sat down and started working on the book. And the fact that it finally came out in 2020, summer of 2020, and it's been great. It's been great. But the greatest part of it is coming to the realization that it's not necessarily about becoming the top of the New York Times bestseller list. Still like that goal, though.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that this book is a tool or a chisel, shall I call it, that I want to try to get into the hands of as many people as possible. David, I got to tell you, I was one of the shyest kids you will ever have known. I
You want to know how many of us that makes on this call? Believe it or not, even though we're doing a Facebook Live, I was one of the shyest, most intimidated, socially awkward kids as well. So now I know why we beat to a similar drum.
Yes, yes. Because we found our voice. We found our voice, and it's been great to, over the course of the last several years, whether it be through Toastmasters and through other different things, to learn lessons, to then apply lessons, and then to share lessons, and then to take this whole journey and realize that it's even something bigger than sharing 10 rules about public speaking, right? But it's about how do you take those 10 rules to fulfill a higher purpose so you can change lives and make an impact. So really excited about the book. I hope everybody goes out there and gets it or shares it with somebody who can definitely benefit from it, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of golden nuggets in the book. There's a lot of diamonds in the rough who are ready to explode once they get their hands on this book.
I love it. I love it. Maybe we can dig a little bit. I can share a little bit about my story, but I'd love to hear your story as well. Like, what was it that lit that flame or said, enough's enough? I know I went through my, I'd say, high school, college, into my professional career, and was still at a point where I felt like nervous to have my voice be heard, raise my hand in a meeting. All of that was there for me. And then it was actually inside of a training session where I saw myself on camera, and I had enough, I think, pain and tension and anger inside of me, in the sense that, like, enough's enough. I don't want this to persist. And there was a pivotal moment where I said, all right, I'm going to start to chip away at this, chisel away at it, to use your word. It became Toastmasters. It became improvisational comedy. It became Tony Robbins' personal development, Landmark personal development, all of this stuff. But at some point, for me, I decided, not only do I like where I'm going, and I'm learning some ability to be social and communicate on a different level, I've got to work with a lot of people. And that, for me, lit me up. It was different than being in front of a computer screen and doing whatever finance work I was doing for a opponent. And I said, wow, I actually could do stuff for others, and that feels good. And that was like light bulb for me. I heard that in what you said. So I'm curious just about how your path looked on your journey.
I would love to tell you that, but I got a question for you. When you were
I knew you were going to flip it back on me. Always giving. Always giving.
I'm curious. Wait a minute. Because you said you saw yourself on video. I'm curious, what did you see? What was it that sparked it, that said, this is not, like, what was going on physically in your body, in your mind, that made you say, I can't see myself doing this way anymore?